Greece has a fiscal mountain to climb. The country is struggling with a massive debt of just under 300 billion euros and a public deficit of 12.7% of GDP. The scale of the problem is so huge it threatens the stability of the entire eurozone, and already the currency has fallen to its lowest level in years. Yet despite this, the EU has made it clear it will not bail the ailing country out, but has approved Greece's recovery plan. The Greek government is aiming to stamp down on corruption, cut public sector jobs, slash social security by 10% and overhaul the tax system, including a proposed 90% tax on bank bonuses. By the end of this year, Greece plans to drop the deficit to 8.7% of GDP, before pushing for the 3% required by the EU by 2012. Despite the mess, investor interest remains high, and the country easily sold 8 billion euros worth of bonds last week. Investor attention may also shift to other high debtors in the Med region, notably Spain, Portugal and Italy. Another 16 billion will arrive as structural funds from the EU, and Greece's tourism and shipping sectors are already showing some signs of recovery. Eckhard Sager caught up with the Greek finance minister in Davos and began by asking what the country can do to stave off bankruptcy.
It's not an easy task, and it's not a task that can be done overnight. We're now in the middle of the storm. However, we've had a successful bond offering a few days ago. We went out for 3 to 5 billion euro. We got an order book of 25 billion, ended up getting 8 of that. So we believe that as soon as people see the implementation of the Stability and Growth Programme that we've tabled to the European Commission, which has gotten good reviews, and as soon as they see the budget being executed properly, and as soon as they see that the tax reforms are actually being legislated, then spreads will tighten, markets will relax, and we'll have the time to do these necessary reforms that this government is absolutely committed to.
There's a lot of pressure on you right now, and there has been a lot of rumors in the papers that potentially you need to look for European bailout. Is a bailout inevitable, do you think, or can you avoid it?
Absolutely not. There is no such scenario in our plans, for a very simple reason. We have to do what we have to do, and we're absolutely committed to doing so. With a decision from ECOFIN in the 15th and 16th of February, the Greek economy will be monitored very closely. Results will be seen on a monthly basis, and there are specific targets, deadlines, milestones for us to achieve, and that's very significant because it will show to our European allies, to the world markets, as well as the Greek citizens, of course, who have put us there, that we are indeed moving in the right direction and tackling a very serious fiscal deficit.
There was also a lot of word about either Greece leaving the Eurozone or being kicked out of the Eurozone. Can you just clarify it for our audience?
It is a completely absurd scenario. No country would leave the Eurozone. And even though we all know that some of what's happening at the moment has to do with speculative attacks on the Eurozone, we've seen it in the past, the Eurozone will survive this.
There have been also rumors that you were asking China to buy up to 25 billion euros of your bonds to secure your financing. The Prime Minister called it malicious rumors. How do these rumors start?
This is an excellent example of how rumors can take over. As any country with a large debt to service, we are looking at diversification of funds. For months I've been saying that we will also go outside Europe to the US and possibly to Asia. I am planning a trip at some point to Asia. Now, where exactly this 25 billion came from, I have absolutely no idea. But I ended up having to deny secondary rumors, beef sort of on the back of the first ones. We had a Chinese analyst coming out and saying China should not bail out Greece, as if we've ever asked for that. We never did. One
of the key challenges you have, you need to raise 48 billion euros this year. Will you be able to do that?
Well, we already proved that we could raise part of that with a successful bond offering. We are, I think, we have a particular program in terms of our debt repayment. The second quarter is the toughest. April and May are the 2 months where the biggest amount needs to be raised. We're confident that as soon as spreads de-escalate, and they will do so because people are seeing the implementation of the Stability and Growth Programme, that we will absolutely be able to raise all these funds in international markets. The markets are there for us.
It is great, though, because you have an advantage, and the advantage is that you have the population behind you. Your approval rating is 70%. 60% of Greeks actually feel that tough reforms are justified. What would you say are the specific bitter pills that you need to swallow, and can this reform actually be implemented?
The public sector is very inefficient. The public sector wage bill has got to be controlled. The tax base has got to broaden and go after tax evaders. The pension system is not viable as it is, and we are producing a major reform in the first quarter of this year. Public administration is corrupt, and we're moving to address that. These are big reforms that are long overdue, that came to the fore because of the crisis, and sometimes a crisis is also an opportunity to tackle things that you have not done in the past.
One thing I think which needs to be said is that Greece is really not alone. There are many other countries within Europe which are facing mounting debts, including Italy and Spain and Portugal. Do you think that the architects of the euro were rushed maybe to be too inclusive?
I think that no, because I think that the euro has helped all of these countries stabilize their economies, have unprecedented investment and growth. If you go to Greece today and you remember how Greece was 20 years ago, you will see it's absolutely not the same country. Even if you go to Greece today and remember how it was 5 or 6 years ago, remember how we were in 2004. Greece was poised to open a new growth cycle. We were preparing the Olympic Games, highly successful. We were in the midst of an investment boom and an infrastructure boom. Unfortunately, you had failed policies that did not tackle structural problems which were there under the surface and had to be tackled when the times were good. They were not. So now they have to be tackled where times are more difficult.
Can Greece regain international credibility?
Well, credibility is a tough commodity. You lose it easily, it's much harder to get it back. I think that a big part of our problem at the moment is the credibility deficit that we have, more even than the fiscal deficit. For example, nobody believes our data. We are moving to make the Statistics Service independent. We're creating a parliamentary budget office to audit accounts. We're completely overhauling the budget process. We're legislating fiscal rules. We'll have Eurostat along us in every step of the way. So we're confident that confidence, which has been lost, is being getting back.